we're here in the horse barn, and Jim is getting ready to go out and rake some hay. So it's been a little while since we showed the whole process, so I thought I'd just show him harnessing the blacks and what all's involved in getting them hooked up and out to rake. We've got Ken right here and Buck over there for all you new people. We do as much as we can with the horses. We can't do everything. We do as much as we can that's feasible, and we like to use them.
Bye. Tap that.
If you wonder what he said careful step. We probably get the most questions of that about what Jim says as anything. Why he says careful step, I'm not sure, but that's what he says. Yep was hoe.
Yep.
That was get over what he just said.
Hip.
Hip is hoe.
Get back. Get back. Okay. I got a kick out of a comment we had the other day. Someone said that The horses work so much better for Brenda because she clearly tells them to careful step. And
yeah, I got a kick out of that too. It's not true. They know what he says, even though he kind of slurs everything together.
get it.
That was get over. Kenny loves to swish his tail. Back.
Back here.
And here's the rake. He's heading out to the back field to rake the hay. We'll meet him there. I'm on my bike. I'm riding behind. Just wanted to give you this view. Where did it go? I was trying to film and ride, and now I can't find the camera. It fell over. Oh, there it is. Oh, brother. Guess I won't be doing that again. I'm wondering if you guys can see the difference in the color of the hay. Even though this looks like one big field, this was cut like, I don't know if it's half a day earlier than this over here. I know he cut this yesterday, but it's much greener. The hay is drying beautifully. Now we've got some beautiful weather. Yeah, Jim's gonna explain what he's doing here.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm raking this one little piece right here. Now, there's these two pieces together, but I actually mowed this piece by itself, I think 2 days ago now.
So this windrow takes longer to dry because it's by the shade here anyways, and then you're doubling it up too.
Right.
But you are pushing it out into the sun a little bit more, but
it's pretty well dry, so it's not a problem.
yeah.
So I know we have a lot of non-farmers that watch our videos, and that's great. And so I'm trying to explain a few things on my videos as we go along, just so you can learn, get a better idea of what's going on. There's a lot of videos out there with tractor farmers and big farmers, and they explain a lot of things, but there aren't too many channels out there that use horses like I do, although there's plenty of people that still do it this way. But I'm going to explain at least the way that I do things, and that's what I've been doing. So as we're raking this hay, people probably wonder, well, how do you know when it's ready to bale? And that's a really good question. There are meters out there, testers that you can actually stick into the hay to see what the see how dry it is. I've never used one of those. I don't even know how they work, but I just go by a little bit by feel. But one beauty about using the horses, I can actually go by sound, and I do that a lot. Since the horses are quiet, no motors, I can just listen to the hay being rolled, and I can tell how dry it is. Of course, I've been doing this for a long time, so that helps out some too. And I'm very particular. I like my hay to be extremely dry. I don't want to put any green, wet hay into the barn. But I also go by visual. As I'm raking, especially when I roll the hay over, I'm kind of watching to see if there's any green clumps that get rolled up. Now this hay, it is 11 o'clock in the morning, and so we won't actually bale this hay until possibly, I've got till late afternoon if I choose to. Going around a pretty sharp corner right here. But anyways, I can let this hay sit for a long time, and it does a tremendous amount of drying still in the windrow. And so, but as I'm raking, I'm watching to see if there is any green, or how much green hay is still in the windrow. Now I say green, it's all quite green, but it's just a darker, greener hay, which tells me that particular stuff is not dry. And I'm seeing very little in this hay that's not dry, but there is a tiny little bit. But that's okay, because I'll get this hay raked before lunch, and it won't take that long to do this little piece. And then I'll let it sit for a couple hours probably. I'll probably let it sit for a couple hours, and then I'll come out here and bale it. There's times where the hay is totally dry and I need to get right on it, and sometimes I'll have Brenda or the girls come help me, and they might be raking, and I'll start right in baling just because I have so much hay down and it's bone dry, so it needs to be baled up. Can you let the hay be too dry? You sort of can. It doesn't hurt in a lot of ways, but the quality, if it's too dry, it more than likely will be sun bleached, so it will be a lot browner looking hay because the sun will bleach it, and it just doesn't taste so good for the animals. So I try to get it at just the right moisture and get it in the barn. This is a very good crop of hay for us this year. We had all that rain earlier, and it just has made for a very good crop. That has made it difficult to mow, like I've shown in some of my videos. I have had troubles mowing, but it's nice to have all this hay. I must say I'm very pleased and even impressed with my old number 9 McCormick Deering mower that I have. It's probably, built back in the 40s, and as bad as my hay was as far as rain has laid it on the ground, and as thick as it has been, it has cut extremely well and looks like a pretty decent job. So I'm very pleased with that. What I will do with this particular field is I will go around it 2 times. So this is my second time around. So I have 2 windrows, the big outside windrow and then the first single windrow. And then after I go around 2 times, I will just make straight windrows. So when I come to the end of the field here, I will actually pull out of the hay and just rake along that second windrow and then keep my windrows straight. If I keep making windrows on my ends, it's a lot of sharp turning for the baler when I'm baling. And right at the moment, my particular baler that I have is not in very good shape, and my kicker on it does not hydraulically turn back and forth like it should. And so it's stationary. So all of the corners, if I'm not careful, it'll throw the bales right, it'll completely miss the wagon. So I have to be very careful with that. But by making straight windrows, it works good. Oh, come over here. So I'm stopping right here for a second.
What do you want me to do? Go over here?
Yeah. I'm stopping right here for a second because as I came through this last time, you can see I have all this hay that I don't know what happened, but for some reason it didn't rake into a windrow. It probably got caught. The hay is so long, it probably got caught and wasn't able to grab it and pull it up. But generally it does a nice job of raking. So anyways, I'm just going to take this hay and put it in the windrow so when I do come through bale it, it'll be okay. So as you can see, there is some green showing, like right there. But when you have so much dry in the windrow, even that green stuff, the moisture will kind of blend in, so the drier stuff takes a little bit of that moisture, and it would just, because it's up in the air, the wind will blow through these windrows and it'll dry out tremendously even now. I cuffed up. So now as we're coming into this is our third windrow, what I'm going to do to keep these windrows straight, I will just come right out of the windrow like this and pull right up as if I'm raking this second windrow all over again. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, but it does make it a lot easier for me baling if I have straight windrows. So now I'm going to swing back into the hay. And we will just continue doing it this way. This particular field comes to a point down here, and so because of that, instead of pulling completely out of the field or completely out of like I did at the other end, I am just getting myself turned around at the point and then going from there with my windrows, and that works good. So one pretty big advantage of having horses when raking hay, as it compared to a tractor, is the turns that they can do. Rake right around, careful. Partially is because of the rake, but my tire goes right underneath the corner of this rake, and I can turn right around, an incredible turn, and come right back in. Whereas a tractor would never be able to turn quite that sharp because their big back tires would hit the rake. Really? Epa. Careful. Careful, huh? Careful, huh? Careful, huh? Careful. Gotta be so careful. The turn's so sharp, but yet there is a point where you can jackknife and get into trouble. Huh? Careful, huh? Careful, huh? Careful, huh? Huh? So here we are coming down our last little strip down the middle. And then this field will be all done. And I have two options here. I can rake myself out of the field, or I can unhitch the horses and leave the rake right here in the field. But if I do that, the horses still have to walk over the windrows and kind of mess them up a little bit. Not that big of a deal, but I think because I only have two windrows at the end, it's going to mess things up very little. So I think I'm going to just drive right on through. I must say, one of the best things about haying in the summer is raking hay. I love to rake hay. I love to see these windrows out through the field. Oh, here comes Brenda, coming out to check on what's going on. As you can see, I made a bit of a mess there, but not bad at all. My second, when I'm just baling, I'll just bail right up, no problem. So we'll head home and get some lunch and then start baling after lunch. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.